Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I was supposed to do this video yesterday, another video, but so today I'm going to do a video about how to be supportive of persons with autism. Let's get into the video. Look, being supportive of a person, especially in my case, is not easy thing. 'Cause it takes a lot, you know. I would say just put it this way: it takes you being patient, observant, kind. What else? Another stuff. And tolerant, especially when they make mistakes, in particular. Not being judgmental, understanding, empathetic, things like that. So, one of the first things you should do whenever you're being support a person with autism is be observant. Um, Being observant, especially when you're trying to support somebody, is really important because you have to observe the things that they like to do. You have to observe their strengths and weaknesses, especially in certain situations that they may face in life. So being observant to pretty much everything around them, what they like to do, what they do best at, what they don't do so best at, stuff like that. It does go a long way because by knowing all of this, then let's say you told them you're gonna be supportive of them of whatever they like to do or they're best at. And it's easy to, doubt yourself. So really be observant of that fact that depending on the situation, what they're going through in life, and the level of the spectrum. Let's say my spectrum, for example, mine is level one. That I tend to doubt myself a lot. Just give an example. I mean, I call myself those questions. Just I doubt myself. So knowing this, um, whenever I go into stuff, a lot of times when I face situations where, especially high state situations, now if I'm going on a stretch where I'm not doing so well, then if it's constantly happening, then it might just get to me after work. Cause it's like, oh, gotta be kidding me, man. Yeah, the frustration will kick in, especially if you need something for it to just flow and stuff like that. So, and as I give someone who is very severely, autistic, very severely. Now, those guys you have to be extremely patient with, knowing that they can't really do both so much by themselves, and that you're going to have to spend time around them. No, if you know you can, then you're gonna have to find someone who can be around us. So those guys can't really do only but so much. So level two is not really it's severe. I think you have levels. You have up to level three, as I said, minus level one and stuff like that. So yeah, being observant and it depends on the level spectrum that you're dealing with also. That tell how much support that you need. Level one, I mean you need support not as much as the level two or level three. The one that need the most support is level three because, like I said, they can't really do either so much or close to nothing. So knowing that they can't really do so much, then yes, you have someone who can't even talk. So that's the thing. The only way they can communicate with you is, if they do talk, you have some person with autism can't really communication wise is they can only say about so much. You know, for me, I can communicate pretty much. Um, how I feel. I can have a dialogue with you, stuff like that. Though I have my own challenges on my own, but despite that, I can still communicate. That's the thing. So those other spectrum. Now you have persons with autism who are non-verbal that they all can communicate through body language. So knowing their tendencies and body language and how the body language will help significantly because they communicate non-verbally. So when you use someone non-verbal, then you're gonna have to watch your body language for the most part. And um, gestures and facial expressions. So knowing the body language will be the key. Number two, I would say to support persons with autism is let's see, being patient. Actually, this one is even the key here also because yeah, a lot of times I've noticed this like for me personally, I get experience. It's like if I'm in a situation where we're in a hurry to do something, right? And or I'm doing something new, or I'm practicing something, or we're in a situation, where it just sets well. Not because I may not do as fast as the other persons. You just have to be patient. In fact, that listen, especially letting them work at own pace. You have to believe that they'll make it. It's just that it'll take a while. So you have to accept the fact that for them it'll take a while. Their brain wired compared to process what typically for them, their brain wired differently. So that's the thing you have to wear. So knowing that you can't really, you have to allow them to be themselves. And whatever. Let's say they want to make friends. Just give an example. Now it takes a while for for me or everyone else with autism to make friends. And even if we manage to pull it off and make friends, it takes a while for me and others around me to gel. Just take a while. I realize that no, it does get frustrating, grant that, because you just hope that you click. But once I do know, you don't want to rush the process. You want to trust the process instead. Rushing the process, it'll be disastrous after a while, cut in in your head. Man, it's too fast, man. So, see, you really want to trust, as I said, trust the process and let them go at their own pace instead of, you know, um, something I would say is, as I mentioned earlier, know their strengths and weaknesses. Um, if you believe they can do something like, for example, some of us with artists can do pretty much different many things. Some of them can play music. A person who can do technology. I mean, I'm doing IT courses and things like that. MIS, that's what I'm doing. There are others who can do certain things. So being around them, know what their strengths and weaknesses is, especially when they're in certain situations, does help, as I said before. Because, you know, when it comes down to this whole thing, and it depending on the situation, like I said, there's strengths and weaknesses. So by knowing what it is, let's say they want your help with something, right? No, if they know, for example, you're talking to someone who has problem talking, what else you could do? If you realize the witness is talking, then you can take them to speech therapy, or you can help them try to have a look at dialogue with them. No, if you're doing an artist who's a fast talker, then this is where patience will come into play because the moments where they're gonna have relapse, like I experience a lot of relapse with my speaking, it's ridiculous. And it does get me frustrated because it's like, yikes. But I'm still working on it. Still a constant process and things like that. So I can constantly keep working on it and things like that. And the scary part for me, personally, I can talk fast at any point of a conversation. Like I can start talking slow, the right part, next thing I speed up out of nowhere. Or I can start fast out of nowhere just like that. See, really don't matter when I start. It's just like that's will come at point. So especially if I'm planning to do something like being a motivational speaker. So that's why I know I have to keep working on it because. But I will say, whenever it comes time for me to speak before the persons, unless of course I'm nervous or something, then chances of me talking fast for the most part, especially for others, ain't very good. Or excited or nervous or something. Unless of course those things that I just mentioned. So um another way to support persons with autism is that learn them to be themselves. I mean, it's easy to let them decide say because they're not doing something to what you want to just say, I mean, why don't you just change? You gotta learn to be themselves, just like you will allow others who are typical to be themselves. The only thing, the only thing we can do is just be ourselves. Can't be anybody else. You know? It won't make sense. One thing I do not love, in any situation you face at all, you have to, at all times, be yourself. Get me? Because a lot of times, if you're being persons who, other than yourself, a lot of times, people will lose respect for you after a while. So if you want to lose respect for somebody or someone to lose respect for you, try not to be yourself. Yeah, try to just be yourself. Another way to support person with autism is being understanding. Um, now process with my exception, I go through a lot of crap. Yeah, there's always a higher percent chance they may get bullied or they may do some silly stuff. Depends on what the self-esteem is at, and stuff like that. So it's like, um, when it comes down to no, there's a way that how they cope in situations. So they may do the same as same. Some may write their hands or vote or do stuff like that. Now, if we don't understand why they're doing it, then there's nothing wrong with asking them and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, if we don't get it, they usually communicate and say, "Listen, I don't understand what you do this. Can you explain it so I can understand?" It doesn't make sense that explaining something to you and you're playing this pretend game as you understand when you know you don't. And this pretend game is BS, if you ask me. So it's BS altogether because yeah, it's just BS. Um, no, know what another way to support versus autism. Know what makes them comfortable and what makes them uncomfortable. That's what it matters here. Know what makes them comfortable, what makes them uncomfortable. So, for example, you have some what makes them comfortable a lot of times is going to if you want to have a conversation, go and have a conversation where the place is quiet. Where it's not anything too noisy, anything like that. A lot of times, if they're being in a place where it's too noisy, what makes it uncomfortable is being in a place too noisy, they may have a meltdown. So, yeah, you have to figure what makes them comfortable. If playing games make them comfortable or trying to express themselves, how they feel about something makes them comfortable, then no, like I said, knowing what makes uncomfortable makes a difference also. Because you don't want to do anything that will prevent them from being themselves. If make them walk on eggshells, actually, making someone walk on eggshells also will make them feel uncomfortable. Shouldn't make anybody feel uncomfortable. Not in any regard. If there's anything I haven't said when it comes down to in this topic, you guys can comment down below. I want to one more to find this video. Another day, persons with autism can do big things. They can do awesome things. They can really make an impact on your life and even inspire you even if you give them a chance. Before I end this, I would say, when you see them, look at their potential, the potential, and not the limitations. So a lot of times, persons see someone like my kind and say, "Oh, because it's this or because it's that. He can't do this and can't do that." So if you realize they can do something big, it's really good to help them out with that, believe in themselves while you believe in them and things like that. Now, sometimes you gotta, it takes a person to believe in you if you believe in yourself. Get me? Sometimes it says that. For most, you have to believe in yourself, but there are cases where it takes. You have some person, depending on the situation, if they believe you can do a particular thing, and you can't do this, I can't do that, you may request, listen, I know you can do this, especially if you actually see them doing it before. Say, listen, you can do this. I've seen you do this. If you're in a situation where they've done something before, but they face the same thing, but all of a sudden they can't do squat, and they're struggling, and things get harder, just question, listen, you have done this before. Remember what you did. You can do this. Just believe in yourself. I believe in you. Heck, even telling them that you believe in them even means a lot to them. So, yeah. And in my video, remember to click on the notification for upcoming video and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.